Good morning, everybody. It's the 7th of May, and I'm just checking in. I know that these last few days, last week, I've had many clients that have had these incredible upgrades. We are feeling the Ascension symptoms really deeply, myself included. So I've had many clients who've had heart palpitations, lack of sleep, irritability, kind of like a brain fog, walking in one direction and wondering what was I doing, what was I meant to be doing, just backtracking, a lot of backtracking. And these are part of our upgrades that we are currently having to navigate. I mean, gosh, if you think about it, whoever gave us the script for this is what's going to happen in 2025 or these last few years? What I can share with you is that as a spiritual medium and channel, that I am so excited for what is to come. We are in a huge transformational year. And for those of you who don't know about Pam Gregory and the astrology that's going on with our planets, I highly recommend. I'm not an astrologer, but what she says makes as best as it can make sense in this moment. And I'm sure many of you are feeling a little bit discombobulated again. I have clients who are feeling this, and it's intense. Nobody's given us a book for what this year is about, but I do know that the Council of Eight had shared with me many, many moons ago that this year and next year is not only about transformation, but it would feel like it's a tsunami. Now, just think of it. I don't know who has been in a tsunami, but if I think about it, it's like it's quiet and then it's bumpy because then it just creates chaos. And that's what we're in. We're navigating this new way of transformation. Our body feels it intensely because there are so many different energetic, just think of it as flux. We're in this flux, a state of like what's coming, what's happening. And that's what the Council of Eight have been sharing with me. And I would like to invite you this weekend to the Council of Eight portal. We are creating a beautiful, safe community to show up in, to be heard, to feel that you can share whatever you're sharing. And for those of you who don't know the Council of Eight and who they are angelic beings of light and ascended masters. And what they share is they share truth. Now, for those of you who kind of like, oh, what is truth? Let me give an example. It sometimes is not the easiest to hear, yet they are upgrading us very, very quickly. Let me give an example. A few weekends ago, I had a beautiful woman in our group, as we always just have the most incredible, incredible humans that are here to up level, upgrade. And sometimes in their sharing, it might not be easy to hear. And what was shared was they had said to her that they had her child in spirit with them. And she said, no. And she said, yeah. They said, yes, we have your child in spirit with us. And I could hear when the information was coming through is that she started to cry. And then they went quiet and they said, okay, we're here when you're ready. And it was pretty profound. And as the channel that I am, when I bring their energy through, I do not remember. And what had happened was a few days later, this beautiful woman had booked in a session with me, a spiritual medium session. And she said, the Council of Eight had shared this with me. And I was in such shock that I didn't know how to answer. Yet I would like to connect with my child in spirit. And what had actually come into the session and what she had shared in her beautiful, vulnerable space of grieving. And I would assume she's in her 30s now. And when she was going into young adulthood, 18, 19 years old, she'd had an abortion. And that was the shock of the information that had come through. So that's what I'm meaning when they speak truth. It may not be easy to hear, They are open, they are transparent, they plant seeds. So that was, if you were to look at it, it might have been hard for her to even know that they knew this information. Yet she had the courage and the bravery to book another session in. I think they might have even suggested it to her, I'm not too sure. And she did. And there was so much healing that happened, and there was a lot of grieving that happened in that session for her young adult self. Now, often as humans, we just let go. We think we're done with it. We think that we just park it. Think of it like suitcases, and we just park, like the shock of even going through an abortion. It's huge to a woman's body. It's huge to their psyche. It's huge to their minds. And emotionally, it's just perhaps sometimes easier just suppressing it. And in my own sharing with you, being the medium that I am, I know how we grieve in different phases of our lives or different levels, and we just suppress stuff. So for those of you who don't know a bit of my story, I had knocked over a young girl when I was 24 years old, turning 25. I was 24. And I had just sucked it up for 9 years. 9 years later, transformation. Remember, the year 9 is in numerology, it's about endings. And 9 years later, I'd gone to a retreat, a hospice caregiving retreat, and the facilitator got me to face and feel how I felt about knocking over and killing that young girl. My intention of that retreat was going to help me through the anger that I felt towards men. And she took me there. She took me to how I felt about knocking over and killing this young girl. I was so confused and I was devastated. I cried so hard. It felt like my head was splitting open. They had to put me to bed that night. I took medication. I had people massaging my head. I was beyond comprehension of how I'd held on to this grief. And it was like my heart split open. And that was the start of my journey to starting to awaken to myself. And I would be honored to walk the journey with you. There's never any judgment from the Council of Eight. There's never any judgment from myself. It's holding space for you to be seen, holding space for you to feel, holding space for you to just let go. And we are, as humans, we have multiple levels and layers of grief, multiple levels and layers of trauma. And it's sometimes scary to even disclose what we want to perhaps suppress. But when we've let it go, when we've shared it, and I'm not about only talk therapy, it's about how do we feel? How do we let this go in your nervous system? How do you allow yourself to grieve? And that's where I'm really good at holding space for you. So please join us this weekend. The Council of Eight will share whatever needs to be shared to help you to up-level, upgrade, because they see us in the light that we are. They see us that we are spiritual beings of light ourselves. And, and it's letting go what no longer serves us. And it might be a story that you are just keeping on. I've now got hiccups. We've now got hiccups. Hence, it's like a hiccup. The story just keeps on keeping on. And that's what's so fascinating. What a great, great way of thinking about that. A hiccup keeps coming and we try and suppress it, or we're like, oh, I'm so sorry. But that's what happens in these stories. So please go and book in www.michcarpenter.com. And also, you will also notice that I have downloadable free resources, and I'm getting used to even saying this because it's very new to me. And I have an audiobook that can help you through your spiritual journey and just giving you different understandings of what our journey is about. And also there's free guided meditations. Through this change that we are in, you are the change, guys. I am the change, and we're all creating a ripple effect. And I know that we can feel fearful at times. And that's what this coming together is all about. I look forward to walking the journey with you. And I feel incredibly honored to be here with all the love and support that we're all giving to one another at this time of absolute chaos. And remember, love is why we are here. And I'm going to say it again. Love is why we are here. And I'm going to say it one more time. Love is why we are all here in our space of showing up. I love you all, and I wish you the most beautiful day. Bye, everybody.